...4K Exo trailer. Whatever the heck it is. Exo Primal. Bam. Let's see this. This was definitely the surprise of the entire show.
Ivy, the android. I'd like to share today's dinosaur forecast. A dinosaur outbreak will soon occur. Residents in the
This is the wackiest game concept ever. Yeah, it's more like Dinosaur EDF. That's a good way of describing this.
Please remain indoors.
You worked on this? You're glad to see it's out in the public finally? Oh, man. Yeah, this has probably been in the works for a long time. If that's not Regina, I don't know what is. This dude looks like he's straight from Dino Crisis 3, right? This guy just looks like he was the weird space Dino Crisis guy.
I make a sensitive situation.
You've been living fighting the chief directors for 2 years.
All I wanted was to be IBS's top pilot.
IBS's latest dinosaur forecasts and exosuit technology were able to keep human casualties to 0. Exosuit development is proceeding under the guidance of the next generation.
It's like a dinosaur EDF action Musuo. What the? It's such a goddamn video game, right? Look, it's such a video game. The most aggressively video game I've ever seen. It is so aggressively a video game. Like, it's insane.
Another Exo fighter recruit, right? Welcome to IBS.
Okay, so they're keeping it a secret. This is gonna be like, why would they show this unless it was a character that we know who it was or something? It's Ryu, like, right? But yeah, that's a good point. This could be character creation because it's identity card, nothing. You add the image. Yeah, that's a good point. They're teasing the fact that you can make your own character creator. That makes sense. It's supposed to be you. Yeah, I don't like the title. Exo Primal, I don't like the title. It just needs to be called Dino Crisis. That's my biggest, I think that's my biggest issue with the game. Re-engine, PS5 and PS4, 2023, exoprimal.com. And it doesn't work. Wow. This is a Lost Planet successor? I mean, it could be. It feels like it's a bunch of things, right? It also has a chick that looks just like Regina. It also has dinosaurs and characters in seemingly a huge crisis, but it's not Dino Crisis. Futuristic exosuits class with dinosaur hordes and exoprimal. Damn, that's a screenshot if I've ever seen one. A new IP. A brand new IP from Capcom featuring teams of 5 players in the state-of-the-art exosuits facing off against relentless hordes of history's strongest and deadliest dinosaurs. There's a lot to unpack here, isn't there? Don't worry, on behalf of the development team at Capcom Japan, I'm here to walk you through the new team-based action game. Let's set the stage. Year is 2043, for reasons unknown. Mysterious vortexes have been popping up, unleashing endless swarms of dinosaurs upon the modern world. We're about to see a vicious fight for survival between the brave exofighters of the near future and the ferocious creatures of the distant past who threaten to drive humanity towards extinction. There's a video. First up, let's talk about the exosuits. While exofighters are still a match for overwhelming numbers of vicious dinosaurs, on their own sleek futuristic combat suits give them the mechanized muscle to take on prehistoric swarms. Always outnumbered by their foes, exofighter teams will need to coordinate and select strategic combination of suits to overcome the odds. Exoprimal is focused around multiplayer co-op, with each exosuit having a clearly defined role. Take the aptly named Roadblock. Not only is it massive, built frame like a tank, but the Roadblock shield can hold off hundreds of raptors to protect their comrades. What the fuck? This sentence sounds ridiculous. Every suit is built with team-based gameplay in mind, and each suit has unique abilities and weapons that represent their distinct specializations. This is kind of like a Capcom's take on Anthem. Yeah. Capcom Anthem, but you're fighting dinosaurs. Let's talk tactics. There's no strategy or team composition that can cover every possible situations. We're talking dinosaurs that appear from inexplicable vortexes. After all, you could face any situation and a prehistoric pantheon of enemies, so you'll need to expect the unexpected. That's where the ability to change your suit during gameplay comes in. Players can change their exosuit at any time during a mission, allowing teams to adjust their composition on the fly or shake things up in their current approach if it isn't working. Feeling overwhelmed and need more firepower? Try changing to a different exosuit. Okay. We've barely scratched the surface of what's potential of Exoprimal, and with Capcom's pedigree of exhilarating action games, for confident players will be able to enjoy the feel of being an exofighter. Prepare to enjoy thrill of controlling exosuits in the heat of battle to take down massive hordes of dinosaurs, or just massive dinosaurs in general. Let's take a minute to talk about these dinos, shall we? Jesus, this is a big article. Fighting tooth and nail with hundreds of prehistoric creatures and an all-new experience, players are sure to feel the sheer overwhelming numbers. As seemingly unfathomable torrent of dinosaurs continues to pour in, fighters can enjoy the rush of clawing out of a victory against seemingly impossible odds, joining your teammates to triumph over boundless swarms of the deadliest creatures to ever walk the earth is an experience you can't get anywhere else. Before we wrap up, there's one more thing to sink your teeth into. The developer commentary video that provides some insight into how the game is shaping up. It provides some additional information on the high-octane team-based gameplay you can expect. So check out the video to see what you're in for. We have so much more to share about Exoprimal in the future. On behalf of the development team, we're looking forward to your continued support. Now that you know a little about the game, why not give the video another watch? If you're hungry for more, you can also follow the Exoprimal Twitter, yada, yada, yada. So they did Dino Crisis, right? So here's what I'm getting out of this, right? It's an EDF style co-op action shooter done in the same graphical gimmick as a Dead Rising game. What's the whole gimmick of Dead Rising? Just a ton of characters on screen at once. We're just going to put an absolute metric shit ton of zombies, and that's our wow factor. This is seemingly doing the same thing. They are trying to pull like, oh, we're gonna stick a ton of enemies all over the place. There always has to be a game like this that like pushes the graphical engine or something. It is Dino Crisis done in the weirdest way possible. In literally the weirdest way possible. And yes, we were talking about this literally last night. It is quite possibly the perfect example of the Tenchu to Sekiro thing, where Sekiro began as a Tenchu game, as explained to me by an Activision producer, and they added so much stuff to it that eventually it became its own thing. It became Sekiro because it was no longer Tenchu. They added so much new stuff to the game that it was no longer even constituting being a Tenchu game. This feels like it was Dino Crisis at some point, but they added so much stuff to it and so many new things that they're like, hey, you know what? It's not really Dino Crisis anymore. It's Exoprimal. But will there be little nods to Dino Crisis like all over the place in there? Yes. Like, we're already seeing that in the trailer. It's the perfect example of like the whole Japanese, we added too much new things to this old game. We will now call it something completely different. It is now a brand new game. So, I feel like we need to see more. Yeah, let's check out this developer video.
皆さんこんにちは。エグゾプライマルのプロデューサーを務めるカプコンの清川です。エグゾプライマルは完全新規 IP としてカプコンが制作するオンライン専用のチーム対戦型マッシブアクションです。
Right.
プレイヤーはロールという役割に特化した最新鋭
This part is so Anthem, it's crazy,
圧倒的な量で押し寄せる
This feels so ridiculously Anthem.
立ち向かうことになります。オンラインで5人のチームを組み、相手チームと競いつつ大量に襲来する恐竜を倒していく。
You know what this feels like? This game feels like an early 2010s Platinum Games game, right? I'm getting like insane Platinum Games like Vanquish sort of vibes from this. Like it really feels like it's a 2011, 2012 era Platinum Games title.
カプコン作品らしいマッシブなアクションとの組み合わせで より満足度の高い作品としてお届けできるよう開発を進めています。また本作ではキャンペーンモードという形式ではなく、ゲームを遊んでいくことでだんだんと世界の謎が解明されていくようなストーリー展開となっております。そちらもぜひご期待いただければと思います。
So here's the interesting thing, as I'm just going to make commentary as this dude is talking. Everybody wanted Dino Crisis. Me and Simmons talked about it for the big Capcom game reveal. It seemed like Dino Crisis is sort of a given. RE Engine, dinosaurs, scary shit. It almost feels like it just lends itself naturally. Imagine being terrified of dinosaurs. I feel like everybody was expecting that, you know? Everybody was sort of expecting there's going to be raptors around the corner. They're going to be hunting you. They're going to be in the shadows and darkness and all this like crazy Resident Evil 2 remake style gameplay, right? That's pretty much what everyone was expecting them to do with Dino Crisis in some way. Instead, they went the Dino Crisis 2 route, and Dino Crisis 2 is like the polar opposite of Dino Crisis 1. It was essentially like an arcade action shooter, kill the dinosaurs like as fast as possible kind of situation. That's like what the majority of that game is. And they went the polar opposite. That was like creepy dinosaurs in like tight corridor situations. You have to sneak past the raptors. You have to, the T-Rex is chasing you. Creepy, scary stuff. And then they have the complete polar opposite. Dinosaurs are raining from the sky. You and your friends have to shoot the T-Rex in the mouth in your crazy exosuits. And there's 16 raptors behind you. Like, it is the complete polar opposite of what everybody was expecting. And I have to give them credit for that. They went all the way over here. We're over here on first base, and this dude is in the bleachers at the back of the stadium going like, what's going to be a 4-player character EDF game? Like, what the fuck?
それでは本作の詳細を平岡ディレクターより説明
Yeah, Dino Crisis Fire Team Elite is what it is.
エグゾプライマルディレクターの平岡です。よろしくお願いします。本作の舞台は西暦2040年という少し未来の地球です。そこでは突如出現する恐竜の群れによって町や人々が襲撃される恐竜災害というものが世界各地で発生し、人類は危機的状況に陥っていました。そんな中、アイビウス社が開発した新世代 AI リヴァイアさんによって恐竜災害が起きる場所を特定する恐竜予報が可能となり、さらに恐竜に対抗するための最新鋭パワードスーツエグゾスーツの開発が進められています。プレイヤーはファイターとしての適正試験を受け、エグゾファイターとして人々を恐竜災害から守る戦いに身を投じることになります。本作は5人のプレイヤーが1つのチームとなり、チーム同士で競い合う5人対5人のチーム対戦型マッシブアクションになっています。現代最強のエグゾスーツと歴史上最強の恐竜、この最強対最強
Dinosaurs look great. You know why dinosaurs look great? Capcom been making dinosaurs in their games for like 15 years now. It's called Monster Hunter.
本作には3つの大きな特徴がありますので紹介したいと思います。まずは1つ目の特徴、エグゾスーツについて説明します。本作にはさまざまなスーツが登場し、それぞれにロールという役割があります。スーツのロールは大きく分けると3種類で、豊富な攻撃手段で敵を殲滅するアサルト、敵の
Jesus.
攻撃を引きつけチームを守るタンク、
This is so sick looking. I love
味方の回復
it.
や敵の
This
奪
is
回
so
化で
sick
戦闘し
looking.
や
I
すい状況を
absolutely love
作り出すサポー
it. This is such a yo video games
ト。
game.
また
Oh my
エグゾスーツは
god. I can't wait.
使うの隙はありますが、戦闘中でもスーツ権利が可能なので、チーム編成や戦
Shit.
闘の状況に
Look
応じ
at this
て
shit. Guys, the guys keep shooting. Oh god, what the fuck?
2つ目の特徴は
I can't
恐竜
wait.
災害です。ティラノサウルスやラプトル、プテラノドンといっ
It's
た
so
歴
it's
史上
so
最
much
強の
a
恐竜
video
が
game,
ゴ
right?
ルデンと呼ばれる
It's such a
次元の世界
fucking
から
video
次々
game.
と押し寄せています。一度に何百もの恐竜が出現する絶望的な状況をエグゾスーツのロールアクションを駆使した仲間との協力プレイで
Triceratops?
これに打ち勝つ
Okay.
という爽快感、達成感のあるゲーム体験ができるよう開発中です。3つ
Holy
目の特
shit.
徴は新世代 AI のリヴァイアさんです。
Yeah, it's got a Smash TV kind of vibe. Yeah. EDF. It's got really an EDF vibe.
する地域で新世代 AI リヴァイアさんが提示する多種多様なミッションを相手チームよりも早く達成できれば勝利となります。提示されるミッションはプレイヤーの腕前や状況によって変化するので、プレイするたびに違った体験ができるでしょう。またリヴァイアさんはプレイヤーが次にやるべきことをボイスでサポートしたり、目的地へのルートを表示してくれたりと、 プレイヤーのナビゲートもしてくれるので、初めてで
The
も
website's
早
up
送り
now?
なく
Cool.
プレイを楽しめます。
We're getting a lot of our
エグゾプライマルは
getting a lot of
2023
information
年
from
の
this.
発売を目指し開発中です。コンセプト、システム、グラフィック、すべての面からカプコンの開
EDF
発
stands
スタ
for
ッフが
Earth
総力
Defense
を挙げて
Force.
制作しています。
It's a game where you kill a shit ton of
今後も
bugs, and it's
公式
been
サイトな
around
ど
for like
で
15
情報を
years.
発信していきますので、楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。
Okay, all right. Missions vary depending on player skill and other factors, meaning no two matches will unfold the same way. Okay. These are such platinum games looking characters, man. I can't explain how much this feels like a mid-2000s, early 2010s Platinum Games game. It really is crazy. Which is funny because all Platinum Games was... Wait, did it say PvP? Let's read all of this. Exosuits are grouped together in different roles. Players will pilot these exosuits to hold against overwhelming dinosaur swarms and online-only team-based action game modes. Dino Survival, the main game mode, sees 2 teams of 5 players competing in a variety of PvE and PvP missions. Huh. Interesting. Players will be transported to the scene of the latest dinosaur outbreak and follow Leviathan's guidance to complete objectives. The team that completes the mission first will emerge victorious. Wow, interesting. So 5v5, almost like a capture the flag, but not really. So the idea is that you're competing against other teams to get to the game mode. Or to finish the game mode. Weird. So yeah, it's like score-based or something like that. It's like a race. Fascinating. And this one says it's online with like the co-op part, but this one says it doesn't specifically say online. Whether players are engaging with other teams directly or fighting alongside them against a common enemy, the aim is to accomplish objectives as quickly as possible. Missions vary depending on... That's weird. That's definitely a weird take. I wonder how that's going to really play out. Players 1 to 10, online only. So seemingly the game is an online only game. Is this Anthem? Not. It's Anthem, like the most Anthem-y thing in it is the suits, right? That's the most Anthem-y thing about it is all the crazy suits. I don't think the gameplay... Anthem was essentially like Destiny, right? I never really played it. But wasn't Anthem like a Destiny game? This is not that. Yeah, this is more like, yeah, EDF / Left 4 Dead. That's a good way of describing it. Like Left 4 Dead with multiple teams trying to accomplish the same goal. Very different. I'm still interested, right? The fact that it is a big co-op game is pretty cool. But the fact that it's like an online-only game obviously is a bit miffing at the start. This is clearly another... You know what I'm glad? Here's the thing I'm glad. This easily, 100% could have been another Resident Evil multiplayer foray. You know exactly what I'm talking about, chat. This could have been just another Resident Evil multiplayer game where there's just a shit ton of zombies falling out of the sky and you and friends have to be running around, right? It could have been that shit all over again. Capcom always tries to do like a big multiplayer game with their existing franchises in some way. They always try to do that. Instead, they didn't do that. We're going to do something super fantastical with the game. Yeah, also, I'm covering it up here, but check it out. Everything except Switch, of course, because Capcom hates Switch. I'm still excited because just looking at it looks ridiculously fun. It looks ridiculously crazy. Like, what the shit is... It depends on how fascinating it can keep that up. But all things considered, like, the surprise hit of last year was Aliens Fireteam. That game was super fun. So if we're going to talk like, oh, it's essentially like Dino Crisis Fireteam. That's pretty much what they're going for. I'm down with that, man. Do I need to play it for like 40 to 90 hours? I don't. But does it have to at least have like a campaign that you go through and you just get set up against crazier situation after crazier situation after crazier situation? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm completely down with that.